Hello, everyone. This is Rob Golfi with Remax, the Golfi team. Welcome to the Golfi Real Estate Show with host Stephanie Vivier. We are probably one of the most expensive countries in the world to live in.
Well, I mean, the affordability, the lack of housing, how much housing costs, Rob, it's also forcing people who are at the end of their marriage to continue to live together. And I know you work with couples who are going through divorce often in your business, you know, whether it's selling the marital home and then finding them each somewhere else to live. But apparently, many people are having to kind of stick it out together in the same space for longer because they just can't afford to go elsewhere.
This is not new. This has been happening for a long time. We deal with a lot of couples that do live together, but they're separate in their houses. You know, maybe the one spouse lives upstairs, the other spouse lives downstairs. The kids live there. They both can't afford to leave, either one of them, and also support the other one. So a lot of them live and stay there together. They live separate lives. And kids, it's easier for the kids. The kids, you know, obviously understand that they're not together, but it's very rare for them to get along. This one article in the paper showed that this couple, they've been living like that for 10 years. They've been raising the kids. And so obviously they have different lives, and they live separately in the house, and they're raising their kids. And it works. And apparently the ex-husband and wife, they're best friends. Obviously they were married at one time, so obviously it didn't work living together. But they're probably better living separately. But we see a lot of this. We do see a lot of this because they can't afford to separate and live elsewhere. So sometimes what happens is we end up putting their house up for sale. And they end up having some equity, and a lot of times they both end up renting, and now they're back at the bottom of the chain. Basically, start saving to buy another house, and hopefully they meet a partner that also makes good money, so they can afford to buy a house down the road. If not, they're going to be renting for a while. But it happens a lot. We go into a lot of houses, and that's pretty. I wouldn't say. I'd say there's a strong percentage of people living like that, husband and wife separated and living together, and they figure they might as well own the house. The kids have a backyard, and just live separately. That's all.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough, though. Like, you know, kids want their parents to be together, but the tension must just be untenable in some of those houses, and hopefully they're able to, you know, get it together and get along enough, well enough for the kids, but completely understandable, right? And I know there's often, especially now with things being so unaffordable, some tension around selling the house. You know, one wants to stay and the other one doesn't want them, probably wants to put it up on the market. But then, you know, when they're gone, right? If they can't get back into the housing market.
Exactly. Divorce, a lot of times, I'll tell you, is a devastation to, is a huge financial devastation to a family. It is very costly. Sometimes, if they could work out the separation and make it amicable, that, you know, it won't cost them that much. But if it becomes a very nasty one, it could be costly. I've heard there was an article in the paper. This is about a few years ago, that there was a divorce that happened in Hamilton, and it cost the guy $1 million, and they were arguing over, I think, $35,000 to $40,000, whatever. That guy, so he was fighting it out of spite. So he was pushing his ex-wife to spend as much as he did to fight this. And they said it was one of the most expensive divorces in the Hamilton surrounding areas that happened. So if you're going to divorce somebody and they're going to be spiteful, it's going to be very expensive. And then you may end up, both of you, not having anything at the end of it. And then all of a sudden you look back and say, "What, were we crazy?" So you got to be very, very careful in dealing with that. Now, if you want the kids, you know, to be close and everything, you want to make sure the kids lead a normal life without having to spend 1 week in one end of the town and another week on the other end of town. maybe get a duplex and you guys have separate lives, but at least the kids, stay together and try to work something out. But I know it gets tough, and they've got to work it out. But yeah, a lot of them, I find the younger the divorce, the harder and most difficult. The older the divorce, the easier. So they're wiser. Obviously, they're wiser. Couples are wiser as they get older. They realize they don't want to, blow all their money and lose everything. So it just depends on the situation. There's always all different situations, and every relationship. But the thing is, living together. I think it's if they can do it, and it saves them money, and they'll both benefit from the appreciation of the real estate values going up. That's great.
Well, that's some good advice there. Just to, maybe if you are a younger couple, pretend like you're that older couple, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it to have all that anxiety and stress in your life. Rob, we're heading into the holiday season. We've talked about Christmas parades and everything like that. Is this going to be a more quiet time? Is this a time when maybe if people have some extra space in their minds, they'd be able to get a deal, say if they were looking for a new property for themselves or a rental property?
Yeah, absolutely. I think now's the time before February, March next year. If you're looking at buying a house. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I don't want to put my house up during the holiday season." Guess what? Everybody's taking their house down. Your house is up. If somebody's walking through your house to look at it and they're thinking of buying it, you're going to see more serious. Those are the serious buyers. And like I said, you never know when the buyer comes. They can get off the airplane, tomorrow, and they need to buy a house, and they got 3 days to do it before they go back to where it could be a relocation. It could be anything. If you want your house sold or for sale, keep it on the market all the time. I know, you got company coming over. Who cares? It's just a for sale sign on the front lawn. Your house is up for sale. Just put it. But as a buyer, if you got buyers coming through, yeah, they're serious. You can probably get some good deals too now out there. Depends, how long the house has been on the market, or if you want to wait and buy in March, February, March, April, then you're going to be probably competing, or you could end up paying maybe 2 or 3, 4% more for the house than you would today. It's hard to gauge, or it could be less. We don't know what the spring market's going to bring. We know traditionally activity does go up in the spring market, like for sales, and but it's hard to gauge that. We've had a crazy 5 years, last 4 or 5 years, just because of the pandemic. It's hard to follow traditional patterns that happened previously, just because of the different things that's happened in the world in the last 4 years.
Definitely. Yeah, you could say that again for sure. It's a feeling of you just never know what's going to happen. Always an interesting conversation with you, Rob. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you want to find out more about Rob and his team, it's robgolfi.com. Give them a call as well, 905-641-0308. And just like Santa, 365 days, no days off for this guy, right?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
This has been the Golfi Real Estate Show, and I'm Steph Vivier. This is News Talk 610 CKT.